Hey YouTube, Briar here. I just went ahead and made a video, I guess you can call it a review of SAO memory defrag. Uh, and there's an aspect of it that I want to go ahead and cover a little bit on broader terms, uh, more applying it to just the gaming industry in general. Now, you have these free-to-play games, and they have to make money. Um, and a lot of them have server fees that they have to pay for, and other miscellaneous costs, as well as paying the people who are creating new content. You know, basically just getting that paycheck going. So, the economics of a free-to-play game are actually extremely complicated. The fact that free-to-play games even exist is kind of a miracle in and of itself. But there's multiple ways of solving this issue. Some of them more fair to the customer, some of them less fair. SAO memory defrag, I believe, is one of the less fair ways. You know, basically charging an arm and a leg for paid currency, not having any other costs incurred, but making it necessary to the core of the gameplay is kind of an issue. I mean, there's plenty of ways that they could have implemented, you know, an ad thing like you see with a lot of these free-to-play games, where you go ahead, you go in and you watch an ad and you get a small amount of the currency, whatever. But with the way that they price the memory diamonds in it, they kind of price themselves out of being able to justify doing that. You also have the pay to get rid of advertisements between rounds. Well, again, with the memory diamond costs, they kind of price themselves out of it. So they kind of back themselves into a corner. Like I said, I'm covering this in a more general thing. I just want to specify what my issue is with the memory diamond system in memory defrag. Now, moving on to the more general aspect of it, are free-to games inherently bad? No, they're not. I tend to go more after the buy-to-play games. The best example is Guild Wars 2. Very good game. It has a paid currency that you can buy, but the thing is the way that they implemented it and the interaction between it and the in-game currency is fluid, and that makes it a worthwhile endeavor if you do the research, watch the markets, and so on and so forth. You can actually buy that game and then not have to sink any extra money into it and get all of the content of the game relatively easily. I'm, of course, not including expansion packs, but even at that point, you could buy the core game, none of the expansion packs, go ahead and, you know, grind your way up as far as in-game currency goes, and play the crystal market and actually buy the expansions, technically, with in-game currency. So that's an awesome thing. I would love to see more games do that. And no, I'm not a Guild Wars 2 fanboy. Like, I don't play Guild Wars 2 anymore because I got bored with it. It became very samey, very repetitive, very blah. But I'm saying that the mechanics of it for the free-to-play aspect, that portion of it, you know, with it not being a subscription-based game, an MMO, it did it well, and it made it to where they could stay afloat, they could continue to develop new content, and the players were happy. So some of the design choices as far as gameplay were concerned, kind of, but I got to give them props on their business aspect, at the very least. And the game's still fun, don't get me wrong, it's just, don't have it as your only game. It's one of those ones you're going to need to take a break from it every once in a while. But I see games like SAO, Memory Defrag, and there's so much potential there, but they put their pricing so far off point that it makes me think that the company thought that the game was going to not be very popular. Now, is this game blowing up the internet like Pokemon Go did? No, it's not. But that's also a good thing, because the thing is that candle burned extremely bright, but it had a 5-second burn time. I'm still saying fuck Niantic and fuck Pokemon Go. But even Pokemon Go, as far as its business was concerned, like its pricing for its coins and everything there, and the ability to gain coins through gameplay, gotta applaud them on it. Even though I don't like Niantic, even though I don't like Pokemon Go as a game, I gotta applaud the business mechanics of it. But you have other games that are absolutely horrid with this. I mean, a lot of Facebook games and so on and so forth are cash grabs. It's all like, if you want to do anything, you have to be constantly pumping money into this. And a lot of people have been making the comment, well, microtransactions aren't so micro anymore. SAO personifies this. I mean, $80 for 11 random character draws? That's a bit rich for most people's blood. However, if they had gone ahead and even reduced the price by fairly low margins, they would still be making a lot of money. I guarantee you it doesn't cost them a whole hell of a lot to keep shit up and running. A lot of their costs probably came from licensing fees. But the thing is even at that point, that doesn't excuse price gouging like this. And it's detrimental to a game. I mean, SAO fans are constantly dying for content. But the thing is they're not willing to sell their souls for it. Not until they actually are able to come out with a actual system that mimics SAO. At that point, every last one of us will sell our soul to go ahead and get the hardware necessary to run it. But until then, sorry guys, you don't get to sit there and charge massive amounts of money for a very small reward. You don't get to do it. SAO may be very popular, but at the same time, it's not popular enough for you to charge that level. And like I said, the gameplay is good, it's solid, it's actually one of the few actual skill-based games out there, so I definitely recommend it to people that are looking for that. And you don't have to have super high level characters to go ahead and do a lot of the stuff, to even just in general enjoy the game. But once you throw RNG in, that means the price of your paid currency is devalued. Now, if you could go ahead and buy specific characters at specific star levels, if you could choose that, then okay. Then I could see the prices that you're charging now. But as it stands, no. There is no excuse for it. To be perfectly honest, it's kind of insulting at that point. They say that there's a major gambling addiction epidemic, and I can kind of see where that's coming from with games like this, because it's one of those things of you're seriously gambling your money on not having a chance of getting your money back. It's worse than at a casino. I mean, at least, yeah, the casino, the games are geared in favor of the casino, but at least you have a chance of making a profit. It's a very slim chance, but it's possible. Whereas with this game, it's just money disappearing into the aether, and you're getting a digital trinket. Let's just be honest. Let's call it what it is. And you're not even able to choose the trinket. So in general, if you're playing a game and it has RNG, but they're charging a high premium for whatever paid currency there is, you have to stop and wonder, how is this at all a benefit to me? How is this fun for me? How is this something that would make me want to spend money in? And it's a level of psychological warfare. Jim Sterling did cover this when he was bitching about the loot crates for Overwatch. And I kind of got to agree with him. It is a level of psychological warfare. It's a haves and have-nots situation. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. In this game of haves and have-nots, what difference does it make? Is it strictly aesthetic? No. Characters function completely differently. Weapons have different stats. So it actually affects the core gameplay. So they can't even say it's an aesthetic issue. I'm at the point now where when I look at these characters, I have to stop and think, is it worth it to spend money on a chance to get what I want? And if it is worth it to spend money, how much money is it worth? I'm telling you right now, it ain't worth $80 a spin. Or $80 for 11 spins. Let's be fair. Now, I know I'm focusing a lot on the characters, but because the characters are the main crux of the issue here. The items are a completely different beast, because now, not only are you rolling RNG, having to spend quite a bit of money in, but instead of having to only get lucky once, you're having to get lucky 5 times. And with the wide pools of weapons that are there, all the different variants and everything, all the different star levels, and I'm saying you have to get lucky 5 times as a general concept. Because the thing is if it's possible for you to get a 1-star of a 5-star weapon, then let's see. You would need to go ahead and get 2 of those 1 stars to go ahead and get 1 single 2-star. If you get a 2-star weapon and you want to bring that up to a 3-star, then you have to get 3 of that weapon, so on and so forth. This becomes exponentially difficult to do. I got lucky and I got some 5-star potential weapons with a max star of with a max star of 4 right now. So let's see now. For me to go ahead, and those are considered exceedingly lucky draws. I got exceedingly lucky on it. But now I have to get exceedingly lucky 4 more times. Yeah. What a deal. No. People sit there and say that people that play free-to-play games and don't spend money in are leeching off of the system. Well, the thing is when you prohibitively price the currency, and that's the only way to support the game, you can't exactly throw that blame onto people that are playing the free-to-play game and not spending money in. Because them having that issue isn't an issue with them. It's an issue with the pricing. It's an issue with the market not meeting the needs of the consumer. And a lot of the people that are saying these things tend to be people who have a lot of spare income. Well, a lot of the people that are playing these free-to-play games are playing these free-to-play games because they don't have the money to go out and buy these big AAA games, like, you know, especially if it's a console exclusive, which that adds an extra $300 some odd to the cost of that one game. Like me, I want to play Phantom Pain in the worst way. I can't afford it, so I don't play it. I play SAOMD. Well, if I can't afford a $60 game, what makes you think I'm going to be able to throw in $80 to go ahead and random roll 11 characters? Which I guarantee you a lot of those rolls will be low-star characters and probably repeats. So I get 1, maybe 3 diamonds or 3 hat crystals from each of those characters. And I need 50 hat crystals to upgrade one of my characters. Kind of doesn't make sense. They're charging more for 11 rolls of characters than a AAA game. They're charging basically a collector's edition's worth the money for an RNG roll. Keep that in mind. That should put it into perspective for you. And like I said, I love the game. Doesn't mean I have to agree with every aspect of the game. And it doesn't mean that I can't sit there and say, hey, you guys are a little bit out of control at this point. Which they are. They're greatly out of control, and they've definitely disconnected. I mean, hell, that connection snapped a long time ago. But it wouldn't be a bad thing if the game was shit. But the thing is, it's actually a good game, but it's being hampered by this. And some people will say, well, it keeps people from doing the pay-to-win thing. All right, I would agree with you at that point, except for one big issue. These items don't drop from quests. The only way to get them is through these roles. Characters do not drop from quests unless they're special event characters. And you're still going up against the people who can afford those exorbitant prices, who are going to kick your ass in ranked matches. So nice try, come again. Better luck next time. Over and over and over again. And these people get more and more overpowered as they go. They have more diversity available to them at that point, so they can match whatever challenge comes their way. Whereas you have to make do with what you have, as a person who can't afford that. So defending this prohibitive pricing really doesn't do anything. Those people are going to buy regardless. All this does is make it so that now they are in an even higher elite class, where that gap cannot be bridged. Now, if they had it where there was a chance of even the lowest star level of these items dropping from even hard quests, let's go ahead and have that, where you have a chance of that. All right, fine. I'll grind for hours and hours and hours. At least then I'm grinding for fun. At least there I'm grinding and have a goal in mind. Yes, I'm going up against RNG, but I'm not having to spend a collector's edition's worth of money for each RNG. I'm spending my time. I'm not spending my money. Because the thing is the people that I have to buy power for my house from, the market for where I have to buy food, the gas stations, other various places that collect certain bills, they don't care about my time. They care about my money. I'm the only one who cares about my time. So if I'm willing to spend my time doing it, then that's fine. Because my time is mine to manage. However, my money I have responsibilities with that. And them expecting that much money from me on a chance? No. And you might notice that I keep specifying on a chance. Now, if you could go ahead and buy specific items, then yeah, I would expect a higher price, because now you're bypassing their RNG. They're going to make less money, so they have to recoup that. All right, fine. Understandable. A lot of people would say, oh, well, that's pay to win. Well, yeah, but the thing is right now it's a pay to win, but at this point, it's only the super rich can do the pay to win thing. Whereas everyone else is now on a lesser level. We start out several rungs into the shit pit. That doesn't exactly make people want to fight their way up. It gets people to want to quit. Or just outright not spend money, play the free-to-play content that they can play until they get bored with the game and eventually quit. And the company still made no money. Pricing in moderation. That's something that a lot of these companies don't know how to do. And it's going to be one of those situations that will eventually kill off the game. And that's sad, because it's a good game. But eventually they're not going to have enough sales. Because the thing is those pay-to-winners, yeah, they're spending a lot of money right now. But eventually they're going to get the best setup that they can. And now they have no reason to spend more money. And so then then these companies are going to be looking at everyone else and going, oh, well, this game isn't popular. Look, we're not making money anymore. And they're going to sit there and try to blame the market for it, instead of them taking a good, long, hard look at themselves and realizing that they priced themselves outside of the market. The market had nothing to do with them. It had nothing to do with their failure. It had everything to do, however, with setting people's expectations of fair pricing. Now, as a average American, I'm sitting here saying I don't have $80 to blow on frivolous shit like this. Now, if for an 11 roll for the RNG you want to charge me $11, fine, go for it. But that's because it's random. If you're expecting this exorbitantly high price, you better be guaranteeing me at the very least 6. So over half of those are going to be max level characters, or are going to be rare items if I'm rolling for weapons. You have to guarantee me that, or else I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to give you my money. Now, people can go ahead and bitch and complain, but the fact is at this point, they're charging you these high prices on something that isn't even guaranteed. Would you go in and pay $30,000 for a car that's been used? You have no idea of the history of it. You're not allowed to test drive it, and you have to pay that $30 up front, no refund. Would you do it? No, you wouldn't. Because the thing is a used car, you buy used because it's cheaper. Because there's that uncertainty. Because you know that there's going to be some problems. So you get a discount. The same principle applies here. If they want to charge that high-end premium, then they need to let you know exactly what you're getting. And not saying, here are your chances.